Very good morning to all of you. In this session, we are going to some more some more programs of a C language. Let us see. The next program is to write a C program to print prime factors of a given number. First of all, let us see what is meant by prime factor. Prime factor is the factor of the given number which is a prime number. Already we have seen how to write the factors for the given number, everything. So here we are going to print the prime factors of the given number. Just we have to print the prime factors. What is meant by prime number? The number which are having the only two factors, one and itself, that are called as the prime number. Okay. Now here we are printing the prime factors for the given number. Whatever we have given, that number prime factor can be printed here. Now let us see how we can write the program for this one. First of all, our C program can be starts with header file. Hash include stdio.h. Next, our C execution can start with void main function void main. Next, here. So we need the variable declaration here. We need the number, that means for which we need to calculate the prime factors. For that we have to take the one of the variable, that is n. Let us take the n. Then for checking purpose, for counting purpose, we can take it as a two variables I and j, and for storing the result, that can be used the count value. Let us take here int I comma j comma, for input value we are taking the n, for storing the count, that is equal to 0 here. Okay. After that, let us see what we have to do. We need to enter the number here. For that, the reading statement, what is the reading statement we are having? Printf and scanf. So printf, enter the number. Next, read the value from the keyboard. For that, scanf %d comma %n. Okay. Now we have to check the condition. So what is the, for checking the purpose, we have to use the first statement. For I is equal to 1, I less than or is equal to n, I plus plus. This is the condition we have used it for checking. After that, I am taking the another one. If n modulus I is equal to 0 or not. If n modulus I is equal to 0. Whenever this condition is 0, then only it can be entered into the next loop. Let us take next. I am writing another condition, for that is j is equal to 1, j less than or is equal to I, j is equal to 1, j less than or is equal to I, j plus plus. Next, let us see. What we have to do after this, we have to again check the condition if I modulus j is equal to 0. Whenever this condition is true, then we can increment the count value, count plus plus. Now whenever this for loop can be false, then it has to check if count is equal to, if count is equal to 2, then it has to print the prime factors here. So for that, write down the printf statement, printf percentile b. I am using the one of the escape character, that is slash b, can be used for the displaying every number to the tab space, comma I. You have to close all the braces. This is the logic can be written for printing the prime factors. Let us see, let us execute this one, ready to execute. See, it is asking to enter the number. I am entering 10. Now, let us execute this one. Enter any number, that is 10. I am providing number as 10 here. Let us see. I am providing enter any number. I have given the 10. So the prime factors of 10 are 2 and 5. So like this we can execute the prime factors for the given number. Just what we have done here. Just we have provided the n value, that is the input, just for checking purpose. We are using with the n checking here, that is I less than or is equal to n or not. Whenever this condition is true, then it can be initialize the count value is equal to 0. After that it is applying the modulus operator. Okay. Here whenever we are checking is it prime number or not, just we have to calculate the modulus. After that we have to use for j is equal to 1, j less than or is equal to r j plus plus, then it is checking whether modulus j is equal to 0 or not. Whenever this condition is true, then only count value can be incremented by 1. Whenever this condition is false, then only it can check whether the count is equal to 2 or not. Whenever this count is equal to 2 in the sense, actually prime number can have the 2 factors, only one itself. Okay. Whenever the 2 conditions are true, then only our count value can be incremented by 1. So count is equal to 2, then only it will print the value as a prime factor. Okay, like that it can check the condition. Let us trace out one any example. See, now we have to perform operation on this one. First, initially we have to take the n value as n is equal to 10. Okay, now we have to check the condition for I is equal to 1. What is the condition? We have to check I less than or is equal to n. That in the sense 1 less than or is equal to 10. Here condition is true. Whenever this condition is true, actually we are initialized our count value is equal to 0 here. After that, it is checking that if n modulus I is equal to 0 or not. What is the n value actually here? 10. 10 modulus I, what is the value of I? That is equal to 1, that is equal to 0. Here the condition is true. Whenever this condition is true, then it is entering to the next for loop. For that j is equal to 1 here, j is equal to 1. Next j less than or is equal to I, 1 less than or is equal to 1. That is condition is true here. Again we are checking is I modulus j is equal to 0 or not. Now that is equal to I modulus j in the sense what is the I value here actually? 1 only. J value is also 1. 1 modulus 1. 1 modulus 1, that is equal to 0. If condition is true, then count value can be incremented by 1, that is count is equal to 1 here. But this loop again j can be incremented by 1, that means j is equal to 2 here. That means first we have to check the condition of the inner loop. Whenever this inner loop condition was false, then only it will move to the outer block. Now 2 less than or is equal to 1, condition is false here, so it is directly come to the if loop, and here it is checking that count is equal to 2, count value is 1, 1 is equal to 2, condition is false here. Okay, condition is false means it will not print anything here. Then move to the for loop, then again now I can be incremented by 1, that is I is equal to 2 here. Then 2 less than or is equal to 10, condition is true. Then same procedure. Count can be initialized with 0. Next it is checking that if 2 is modulus, sorry, n means what is the n value here? 10. 10 modulus 2, that is equal to 0. Condition is true. Then it is entering to the for loop. Then 1 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is true. Then 2 modulus 1, that is equal to 0. Count will be incremented by 1. Here let us see 10 modulus 2 is equal to 0. Yes, condition is true here. After that it is checking for j is equal to 1, 1 less than or is equal to 2. Okay, condition is true here. It is checking 2 modulus 1. Yes, condition is true, it is equal to 0 only. Now count will be incremented by 1, that is equal to 1 now. But here this j loop was in true condition only, so that j can be incremented by 1. J is equal to 2. 2 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is true here. Again it is checking that 2 modulus 2, that is equal to 0 only. Next again count can be incremented by 1, that is equal to count will be 2 now. Count will be 2 now. Again j will be incremented by 1, but 3 less than or is equal to 2, condition is false here, then it is come out from the loop and it is checking the correct condition. If count value is 2, 2 is equal to 2, condition is true. Condition is true means it will print the I value. What is the I value here? 2. That means one of the prime factor for the 10, that is 2. Okay. Next again it will continue the process by incrementing the I value, that is 3. Okay. Then after that it is taking the same process like that until this condition is false. When this condition is going to be false here, whenever I value is becomes 11, 11 less than or is equal to 10, automatically this condition is false and this come out from the loop here. Okay, like this it will perform the prime factors of the given number. Okay, this is the way we can be used for calculating the prime factors of the given number. Now we see the next one. See, program to print the sum of even and odd numbers. The next program is calculating the sum of even and odd numbers. So here for this list of elements, whenever in our C language list of elements, that means collection of elements, in the sense we have to take it as array. Array means the collection of homogeneous data elements are called as array. So here for writing this program we have to use the arrays. So what is syntax for the array? Array name in square brackets we can be provide the size of the array. Okay, let us see how can we write the program here. As usual we have to write the header file #include stdio.h. Next execution can start with main function void main. Now here we have to declare the variables we need. What are the variables we need? we need to provide the size of the array and we need to take the array. Okay, next count value. See here, I am providing the size of the array as size. Next, for counting I, next one I am taking array as a of I here. Okay, a of I in the sense here we have to provide the size of the array. For example, I am providing some 20 here. Next, we have to initialize the two values here. That means for sum of even numbers and sum of odd numbers, we have to take the two variables here. Okay, simply I am taking some even sum. Even sum is equal to 0, then odd sum is equal to 0. Okay, these are the two variables we have taken. Now we have to give the array size and provide the array elements. This is the concept we have to enter. First we have to provide the array size. Let us take the printf statement. Printf, enter the array size. Next scanf %d, ampersand size. That means the size can be stored in the variable of size here. After that, provide the array elements. Take the printf, enter array elements. Next, here whenever we are providing the array elements, we have to take the for loop. That means it has to store our values in index by index. Clear? So for that we have to take the for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. I less than n in the sense here what the size here, whatever the variable we have taken, that is size here. Next let us take it as scanf, read the values by one, scanf %d, ampersand a of I. Okay, so this is the way we can read the values from the keyboard in our array. Okay, so whenever we have provided the values one by one, for example, one value I have given initial I is equal to 0, the value can be stored with the index of a of 0. Next I can be incremented by 1, the next value can be stored in the a of 1. Next value can be stored in the value of a of 2, like that. Okay, let us see. Next one, we have to check whether the even or odd. What is the condition can be used for checking? Is the modulus 2 is equal to 0? That means it is automatically even number, otherwise it is the odd number. Okay, see, I am taking for loop here for I is equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. Then it is checking whether it is divisible by 2 or not. For that, if a of I is modulus 2 is equal to 0 or not. Whenever this condition is true, then it has to add array element with the even. That means what is the variable we have taken? Even sum is equal to even sum plus a of even sum plus a of I. Okay, otherwise else we have to take odd sum. Odd sum is equal to odd sum plus a of I. Okay, like that whenever this the number is divisible by 2, that will be equal to 0, then it is added to the even, otherwise it will go to the odd sum. Now we have to print those statements here. I am closing for loop, but finally I am printing even sum and odd sum. So this the sum of even sum is equal to %d percentile D, comma, what is the variable here? Even sum. Similarly, we have to take the next one, printf, the sum of the sum of odd elements, that is equal to percentile D, comma, what is the variable here? Odd sum. Okay, so this is the logic. Let us execute this one. Just stick a double quotation. Okay, it is ready to execute. It is asking to enter the size of the array. I am providing 5. Size of the array is 5. I have to give the values of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Let us see. The sum of even is 12. Actually, what are the even elements here? See, 2, 4, 6. That means 12. The sum of odd means 3 plus 12, that is equal to 8 here. Here let us use slash and symbol. Then it will be displayed next line. Size of the array is 5. I am providing array elements as here. The sum of even is 12 and the sum of odd is 4. Like this, we can write the program for adding the sum of even and odd elements in an array. Okay. Now let us see how can we work out on this one. Here, first it is asking to enter the size of the array. So I am providing size is equal to some 5 here. Okay, or I am taking the size as some 3. Now it is asking to enter the array elements. That means 3 elements has to be stored in our array. For that, let us see. It is taking an array like this. For example, it is the array. Now these are the 3 elements in our array. Now, array indexes are 0, 1, 1. Next array index is 2. These are the array indexes. Here the array name as A. I am taking array name as A. That means whenever we have provided the array values A of 0, the first element can be stored in this location. Here for example, I am providing the element of 4. That means the 4 element is stored in the index of A of 0. Whenever we have given the another index, the value can be stored in the second index, that is A of 1 here. Next, whenever we have given another value, the value can be stored in the third index. So like that, A of 0, A of 1, A of 2. That means here the size of the array is just 3 here. That means it is checking with I is equal to 0. That means 0th location, 1, 1th location and 2, 2th location. Whenever 3 is less than 3, condition is false and it is just coming out from this loop. Okay. Next, check the condition here. For I is equal to 0, I less than size and I plus plus. Next, this can I is equal to 0, I less than size. That means 0 less than size is 3. Condition is true here. After that, it is checking if A of I modulus 2. A of I in the sense 0 is modulus 2 is equal to 0 or not. Here see if what is the value can be present in the location of A of 0, that is 4. So 4 is modulus 2, that is equal to 0. Yes, condition is true here. Okay, whenever this condition is true, then it is adding with our even sum. Okay, so this value can be adding with our even sum. That means even sum is equal to, what is the even sum initially, that is 0. 0 plus what is the value here, that is 4, that is equal to 4. Okay, now again we have to take the next element. See, I can be incremented by 1, that means I is equal to 1 now. Okay, next it is checking the condition 1 less than 3, condition is true. Then it is checking that A of I, what is the value? A of 1 is modulus 2 is equal to 0 or not. Okay, now check the condition, what is the value can be present in our A of 1, that is 2 here. See, A of 1 value is 2, that means 2 modulus 2, that is equal to 0. 2 modulus 2, that is equal to 0. Condition is true. Whenever this condition is true, automatically it can be added to the even sum. Even sum, that is equal to even sum value is before that, it is a 4. See here, 4 plus, now the new value is 2, that is equal to 6 here. Okay, after that I can be incremented by 1, that is I is equal to 2. Next condition, A of 2 modulus 2. What is the value in our A of 2? 3. 3 modulus 2, that is equal to 1. That means it is not 0. That means this condition is false, then it is go to the odd sum here. What is the odd sum value? Odd sum is equal to initially 0, 0 plus 3, that is equal to 3 here. So these are the values can be print as our output. Let us check this one. The same values I am providing here. Let us see. It is asking to enter the size. Same I am providing 3. Let us enter the values of 4, 2 and 3. See, the sum of even is 6, the sum of odd is 3. As similar to our expected result only. Okay, like this we can write the program for adding the even and odd sum, odd numbers from the given list of elements. Here we can be use the arrays. We will see next program. Let us see the next one. These are the printing diagonal formats. Here pyramid. See, program to print the pyramid of digits format as like this. So it has to print like this. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Just they have given the 4 rows directly. So just we have to take it as the size as 4 here. Okay, if they have not given the size, we can take the number of rows it has to print. Okay, so let us start writing program. First hash include stdio.h. Next C execution can starts with void main. Next here we have to take it as, let us see, total how many rows can be present here. Totally we are having the 4 rows here. So that here no need to provide the size here, just we need to take the int I comma j, that's enough. Just we are declaring the variables. We need to take the for loop. For no need to read out any value from the keyboard. Directly we are taking the number of rows are 4 because they have given the 4 rows here. If they have not provided a number of rows, automatically we have to read the value from the keyboard, that is
enter the number of rows here. Okay, for I is equal to 1, I less than or is equal to 4. That means just here I am providing the maximum number of rows can be printed here, that is 4 only. Now I plus plus, after that I am taking another one for j is equal to 1, j less than or is equal to I, j plus plus. Okay, just after that I am printing value printf percentile g, some space here, comma, I am calling as a j value here. Okay, close the loop and I am entering the next line statement, that is printf slash and here close. Okay, next another close. So this is the logic can be written. That means here why we have taken it as j value means in this only the count can be incremented for every time. For example, for whenever I is 1, it can be increment 1 time. Whenever I is 2, it can be repeating 2 times. Whenever I is 3, it can be repeated 3 times. Whenever I is 4, it can be repeated 4 times. So like that value can be printed here. So that we have taken as j here. Okay, let us execute this one. See here. This is only our output here. First 1, in next iteration 1, 2, in next iteration 1, 2, 3, in next iteration 1, 2, 3, 4 here. See, let us work out on this one first. See here. So no need to provide any input here, just we have to check the conditions directly. I is equal to 1 here. After that 1 less than or is equal to 4. Yes, condition is true here. Whenever this condition is true, then it is entering into the j is equal to 1. Next 1 less than or is equal to 1. Yes, this condition is true. Whenever this condition is true, then it has to print the value of j. See, what is the value of j here? 1 only. So I am printing the 1 here. Okay. After that, again j can be incremented by 1. So j is 2, 2 less than or is equal to 1, condition is false here. So whenever j is equal to 2, 2 less than or is equal to 1, condition is false here, then it is come out from the j loop here. Okay. So up to this is the first iteration. After that again it moved to the I is equal to 2. Next I is equal to 2. Now it is the second iteration. Now 2 less than or is equal to 4. Condition is true here. Next j is equal to 1. It is again start from the first one onwards. J is equal to 1. 1 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is true. Now it is printing the j value. What is the j value now? That is 1 here. See, actually whenever this loop is terminating at the line is moving to the next line, it is entering to the next line here. That's why we have used the slash and here. Now it is printing the j value. Now here j is equal to 1. It is printing that. Enter this one. Here 1 is printing. Okay. Again after that j can be incremented by 1, that is j is equal to 2. Next 2 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is true. Next it is printing the j value. What is the j value now? That is 2 only. J is equal to 2. It is printing the next value in that space only. Here just we have taken the space. In that line only we are printing the 2 here. Okay. Whenever j is equal to 3, condition is false here. J is equal to 3. But 3 less than or is equal to 2, condition is false. Okay, and it is come out from the loop here and enter into the next line. Okay, our cursor is in the next line, third line. Now let us take the another one, I value. Then I can be incremented by 1, that means I is equal to 3 here. Next 3 less than or is equal to 4. Next condition is true. Next for j is equal to 1, 1 less than or is equal to 3, condition is true, then it is entering printing the 1 value. 1 is the j value, 1, next iteration 3, next one it has to print the 3. Whenever this j is equal to 4, 4 less than 3 condition is false, then it is come out from the loop. And next iteration it has to print the values of 1, next 2, next 3, next 4, that's it. Whenever this I is equal to 5, 5 less than 4 condition is false and please come out from the loop. Okay, like this it can be printing our given values, print pyramid shape. Okay. Okay, let us write the another program. Let us take the next one. Program to print the pyramid of the digits format as 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. See the difference between this one and these two. Here every time it is iterating. That means 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. But here 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4 like that. Okay. We have to observe one thing. Here it is iterating. That means it is printing the j values here. Whenever we want to print the same value as the result means we have to take it as the I value. The program is same as it is, but just we have to change. See, I am taking same program. Program is as it is, but in place of this I, let us take it as I. That is the difference only. Let us observe. I am executing this one. Next, enter into this one. Let us see here. We observe 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4 like that. That means just we have to change the I value here. That means I in the sense whenever I is 1, it can be iterating one time. Whenever I is 2, it can be iterating 2 times. That's why we are taking I here. That means 1 time. So 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4 like that. Okay. Like that we can be print these digits. There's difference between that is here we have to take it as a j value. That means it has to print the number of j times. It has to print the I times q. Okay. Now just a difference you have to note it down I and j here. Okay. So this is the j iteration. This is the I iteration. So that's why j and I is the difference. Remaining everything is same here. Now let us see this one. It is the inverted pyramid. Already we have print 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 like that, but it is inverted. Let us see how can we print this inverted pyramid. Now let us write the program here. Here also no need to take input from the keyboard. Directly we can write down the header file #include stdio.h. Next execution starts with void main. After that take it as the input values I comma j. No need of the any variables here, just enough. Let us write the for loop directly. For here we have to take now how many rows can be present here? 4 rows here. So directly we can take it as the I is equal to 4. That means 4 times it has to print first time. I greater than or is equal to 1. Every time it has to decrement the I value, that is I minus minus. Okay, we are coming from the reverse case here. Actually in previously we are starting from the 1, 2, 3 like that. But here we are printing in reverse case. That's why we have taken I is equal to 4, I greater than or is equal to 1, I minus minus. Okay. After that we have to take the another for loop for printing for j is equal to 1, j less than or is equal to I j plus plus. Okay, now I am printing printf. Next, I am printing here. What's the value we are going to print? Percentile g, some space here, comma j. Okay, after that close. After that it move into the next line. Printf percentile, slash n. Okay, close the brace. Close another brace. Okay, let us check this one. See here. So this is our output only 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1. That means inverted pyramid of the digits format here. Okay, just we have executing in reverse case condition here. First we have taken I is equal to 4, then it is I greater than or is equal to 1. That means 4 times this j can be repeating and printing the values in same row. After that it is entering to decrement the I value, then it is executing 3 times. After that it is entering into the next line, it is executing 2 times. Like that, let us work out on this one. See, first I is equal to 4. What is the I value here? 4. 4 is greater than or is equal to 1. Condition is true. Then it is moving to the I is equal to 1. Next, 1 less than or is equal to 4. That means 4 times it has to repeating. Condition is true. Then it is printing the j value. What is the j value now here? That is 1 here. Initially 1. After that I can be incremented by 1. That is j can be incremented by 1. So just here j is equal to 1, j less than or is equal to 4, condition is true. So that it has to print the j value here. Next, j is equal to 2, next j less than or is, 2 less than or is equal to 4, condition is true. So it prints the j value. That means here it can print another value with the space, that is 2 here. Okay, after that again j is equal to 3, then 3 less than or is equal to 4, condition is true, it prints the another value. Next j is equal to 4, next 4 less than or is equal to 4, condition is true, it can print the j value 3, then 4. Okay, this is the first row. Whenever j is equal to 5, this condition is false, then it is come out from the next outline. That means it can move into the next line. Okay, then I can be decremented by 1. That means this is the next case. Now I is equal to 3. Okay, whenever this I is equal to 3, 3 less than or is equal, 3 greater than or is equal to 1, this condition is true, then it is enter into the j loop. J can be repeating until 1 to 4 here, 1 to 3. 3 times can be repeating and it has to print the values of 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Whenever this is 4, then it is come out from the loop and next entering to the next line. Like that, it is I can be decremented by 1, I is equal to 2. Next again 2 greater than or is equal to 1, condition is true. Okay, again j can be repeating from 1 to 2 times. Okay, it has to print the values of 1, 2. Okay, like that it can be print the inverted pyramid, and it is again decrement the I value I is equal to 1. After that it is just repeating one time and print the 1 and it is come out from the loop. Whenever I is equal to 0, this for loop can be false and it is come out from the loop and execute the pyramid like this: 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1. Okay. So this is the logic can be followed for inverted pyramid. Okay. Now let us see the next program, Pascal. How to print the Pascal triangle. Okay, this is somewhat difficult. So we have to print the spaces here first of all. Let us see. The next program is program to print the Pascal triangle format. Pascal triangle in the sense, see here. At middle we have to print the 1 with the spaces 2, 2, 3, 3, 3 like that. So first whenever we are printing this program, first we have to print the spaces, after that we have to enter into the 1. Here also we have taken another 4 rows only. Okay. Let us see how can we write this program. First, hash include stdio.h. Next execution can starts with void main. Okay, next we have to declare the variables. We need how many variables here? C for spaces j, and j is equal to 4. Directly we have taken the number of rows here, and x can be taken and k can be taken here. Okay, these are the variables we need. And next read the for loop here. For I is equal to 1, I less than or is equal to 4, then I plus plus. Okay. After that it has to enter into the for, let us take it as the k for printing the spaces here. K is equal to 1, k less than or is equal to j, k plus plus. Okay, here I am printing the spaces here, printed just space. That's it. This is the first part for printing the cases every time. Okay. For our easy identification, okay, this is the first case. Okay, after printing that, it has to print the value. What's the value we have to print? That is I value. We have to take it as the I value. Now let us take the another loop. What is another loop? We have taken x is equal to I. Okay, next x is equal to 1, x less than or is equal to I, x plus plus here. Okay, after that we have to print the I value, that is printf percentile b space comma I. Okay, again we have to print the another space here, printf space. Okay, close this. Okay, just move on to the next line, that is printf slash n, and decrement the j value, that is j minus 1. That's it. Okay, let us see. Just wait. Let us check this one. compiling, execute this one. Let us observe the output here. Pascal triangle. First it is printing the 4 spaces here, then it is printing 1. After that, entering to the next line, then it is printing the 3 spaces, decrementing 3 spaces and 2 2. Next 2 spaces like that. Okay, this is the Pascal triangle logic here. First we have first loop can be used for printing the spaces, then it has to printing the values here, and every time it is decrementing the j value for the spaces. Spaces decrement here. Now let us work out on this one. Okay, let us take first I is equal to 1, next 1 less than or is equal to 4, condition is true. Okay, after that k is equal to 1, next 1 less than or is equal to j. What is the j value initially we have taken? That is 4, that is true only. After that it is printing one space here. Okay, it is printing just space. After that k can be incremented, that means k is equal to 2, 2 less than or is equal to 4, condition is true, it is printing another space, again k equal to 3, another space, k equal to 4, another space here. That means 4 spaces can be printed. After that, whenever this k is equal to 5 and it is come out from the loop. Okay, after that it is going to the x. Here x is equal to 1. Next x less than or is equal to I, that means 1 less than or is equal to 1, condition is true. Then it is printing the I value. What is the I value here? 1 here. That means it is printing the 1 after 4 spaces here. Okay, after that it is providing the another space here. Next one it is entering to the next line. Then it is entering into the next line and j can be decremented by 1. J is equal to 3 now. Now again same process can be repeating, I can be 2 here. After that again k process can be done, k is equal to 1 to 3 times can be processed here. 1 is equal to 2 and 3. Okay, that means 3 spaces can be print. After that it is entering into the x. X is equal to 1 and here also x is equal to 1 and 2. 2 times can be repeating here and it is printing the 2 values. That means what is the I value here? I is equal to 2. That means 2 times I can be printed here. With the spaces 2 space, after that it can be printed 2. Okay, again j can be decremented by 1. J is equal to 2 now. The same process can be repeating. I is equal to 3 now. Okay, after that k can be repeating 2 times only. Okay, k can be repeating 2 times. Whatever the j value that can times it can be repeating. Next it can be print the values of 2 times. That means I value is 3 with the space 3 with the space of 3. Okay, like that it can be print the Pascal triangle like this by using the spaces here. Okay, this is the logic can be used for printing the Pascal triangle. K is equal to 1 per spaces 1 loop and for printing the value 1 loop. After printing also we have to print the spaces here. For that also we have to take another print. Like that every time we have to decrement the j value. Okay, this is the logic can be used for printing the Pascal triangle. Let us take the last program. See here, to print the Pascal triangle format in reverse case. Already this process can be repeating inverted, normal, everything. It is in reverse case, right side onwards. Here also we have taken it as the number of rows are 4 only. Okay, this is as usual, but we have to use the decrement operation here. Okay, same as like the previous program. Let us write this one, hash include stdio.h. Next execution can starts with void main. Okay, initially we have to declare the variables I and j here. Next take it as the for loop for I is equal to 1, I less than or is equal to 4, I plus here. Next, here let us assume here we have to take it from the reverse case. That means we have to print first spaces here. After that it has to print the value of our j. Okay, for that I am taking for j is equal to 4. Next j less than or greater than or is equal to 1, j minus minus. Okay, after that I am printing the next. Here we have to check one condition. If j is less than or is equal to I, then printf, it is print percentile g space comma I. Okay, else it is printing the space. Printf just space here. Okay, just wait. Let us take the j value. That means j can be repeating here. Next, close this loop and write down in next line statement printf slash n here, braces close. Okay, here this is previous program logic only, but here we have to take in reverse case condition. Actually in previous loop we have taken j is equal to 1, next one j less than or is equal to I, j plus like that, but here we have to decrement that one. Here j less than or is equal to 4, j greater than or is equal to 1, j minus minus. Whenever this j is less than or is equal to I, then only it will be print the j, otherwise it will print the spaces here. Okay, execute this and see the output here. Okay, so this is the logic can be used for printing the reverse case. Let us see, let us work out on this one. First, for I is equal to 1, I less than or is equal to in the sense 1 less than or is equal to 4, condition is true here. Whenever this condition is true, then j is equal to 4 here. Next, 4 greater than or is equal to 1, condition is true only. Whenever this condition is true, then it is checking the condition if j less than or is equal to I or not. That means 4 less than or is equal to 1. Condition is false here. Condition is false. Whenever this condition is false, then it is not printing the j value, it is printing the space here. Okay, after that j can be decrement by 1, that means j is equal to 3, then 3 greater than or is equal to 1 here, condition is true. Again it has to check the condition if 3 less than or is equal to 1. Here also this condition is also false here. So that means it is also printing the space here. Next again j is equal to 2. That means 2 less than or is 2 greater than or is equal to 1. Here also condition is false. Again it is printing the space. Okay. Next one, whenever j is equal to 1, j is equal to 1, next it is checking that 1 less than or is equal to 1, condition is false here. 1 less than or is equal to 1, condition is true. Whenever this condition is true, then only it is printing the j value. After 4 spaces, okay, after 3 spaces, it is printing the 1 here. That means it is printing the 1 here. Okay. After that, let us take it as the next one. Now, we are move on to the I. I can be incremented by 2. I is equal to 2 now. Okay. Now, j is equal to 4. Next, 4 greater than or is equal to 1. This is also again. Now, 4 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is false. Next, again, j can be decremented by 1. See, next, j is equal to 3 now. This is also condition is false here. That means 3 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is false. Next, j is equal to 2. Next, 2 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is true here. Okay, condition is true means it can be printed 2 spaces only. Okay, after these 2 spaces, it can be print the value of what is the value it can be print here? J. What is the J value? Two. Just wait. It is printing that J value is 2 now. So 2. After decrementing, it can be printed the value of 1 here. Okay, here the J value is 2. It is printing J. Next, again our J can be decremented by 1. That is J is equal to 1. Again 1 less than or is equal to 2. What is the I value here? 2. Okay, 1 less than or is equal to 2. Condition is true here. That means it printing the J value. J value is 1 here. Okay. Again, we have to check the another case. I can be incremented by 1. That means I is equal to 3 here. I equal to 3. Then again J is equal to 4. Next, 4 greater than or is equal to 1. Condition is true. Then it has to check the if condition here. What is the if condition? 4 less than or is equal to I. What is the J value here? 4 less than or is equal to 3. Condition is false here. Next, again J can be decremented by 1. J can be decremented means 3. 3 less than or is equal to 3. Condition is true here. That means it is printing the value of 3. After one space, it is printing the value of 3. Next one, it is printing the value of 2. Next, it is printing the value of 1. Okay, like that it can be performed the pyramid for the given one. Okay, this is the logic can be used for printing the given pyramid. Okay, check it once. So these are the pyramid structures can be developed by using C programming language. We'll continue next session. Thank you.